Hello, my friends, and welcome to the 10-Minute Book Talk, where three best-selling authors talk all things bookish with you for 10 short and sweet minutes every week. I'm your host today, Rachel Linden, and I'm joined by my lovely and well-read co-hostesses, Marie Bostwick and Katherine Reay. And today we get to do something that's super fun. We love to interview authors, but once in a while we like to tell you what we are reading and loving. So it's not our own books, it's not what we're working on, it's what we have on our nightstands that we are just devouring. And so we want to tell you today, I think we have two each, what we are reading and loving this spring. Marie, what are you reading and loving?
Well, I'm not devouring. I am savoring and sipping and loving this. I got this book. It's
Oh,
called Bless the Space Between Us by John O'Donohue.
I
It is,
love
it is
him.
not a novel. I don't know how I didn't know about this person before. Patty Callahan mentioned him online. It just sounded like the sort of book I might really like. It is part poetry, but part blessing, part prose. And so there's like thoughtful blessings for kind of every occasion, for thresholds in for life, blessings for the senses. This is just a thing. So just I'll quickly may the touch of your skin register the beauty of the otherness that surrounds you. May your listening be attuned to the deeper silence when sound is honed to bring distance home. It's
Hmm.
so delicious. I try to read one like every morning, and it's a beautiful way to start my day. So I'm reading and loving that, but I'm not devouring, I'm savoring,
You're
reading very
savoring.
slowly. And this, I am so embarrassed to admit how late I am to the party. Okay. But let's just forget about that. Let's just celebrate the fact that I arrived at all. Okay. So Kristen Hanna's The Women.
Oh my gosh,
I know it was like the book, the top
loved
of
it.
everyone. I read it because Rachel and I are in a book club together and somebody did it. I loved it. And I think what had maybe put me off wanting to read it was maybe the fact it is about a bunch of nurses during the Vietnam era. I kind of lived through some of that, and I don't it is that period of history has always felt a little depressing for me. And certainly there are very serious things going on, but this, at the end of it, this is a triumphant book about women who are pitching in, growing, finding strength they didn't know they have. Yes, it is about a very difficult time in American history, and they undergo some things that are really unfair. But the growth that these characters have gave me so much, just another way to think about that war and the contributions of, and it made me proud. It made me proud to be a woman. It made me proud of these characters. It really, really stuck with me. And if, like me, you're one of the last people on the planet who hasn't picked up The Women, I'm telling you, you need to. So those are
There
mine.
you go.
Excellent. Well, I like that you said you were late to the party because I am not going to share with you all books that are hot off the presses because I too kind of dip back a little. But if you missed The Frozen River by Ariel Lahone, go back in time and grab it. It really deserved all the acclaim it got. It is so beautifully written. You are there. It is a time period, I believe it's like 1630s, 1680s. It's not a time period I delve into very often. I loved every minute there. It felt
Hmm.
back then, but yet the issues were contemporary. The emotions felt contemporary, but her sense of place is beautifully strong. So when I
Yeah.
say they felt contemporary, she is not messing up 400 years of history. It is
Mhm.
pitch perfect, but yet you feel you can understand these struggles. Just fantastic. And then my
Another
second one,
great big book club pick too, I would say.
and so much to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
book clubs would really love this. And again, I'm going to go back in time again and even further. I'm loving this
Oh,
book.
you're far back in time.
I'm
Everybody
far
loves
back
that.
in time. But the thing is that good books have that longevity. So, I'm going to say yes, you come here and we're telling you about the latest, greatest books that are hot off the presses, but some of these deserve a little shout out again to say, hey, you may have missed it because so many books come off every single week. Go back and grab this one. I
Mm.
loving it. The prose is fabulous, the points of view, the time periods. I'm just everything about it. I'm really enjoying. So well written. So there you
Hmm.
go. Those are my two.
Great, good choices.
All right. Well, I love a good book with actual paper pages, but I am also quite a Kindle reader. So I'm going to say this one that I'm loving right now, but I just have the cover. I just pulled the cover up on my phone.
Oh, I like
It's
the
Jonathan
cover.
Evison, The Heart of Winter. It got a lot of acclaim earlier this year. It came out sometime a couple months ago. And a lot of booksellers were telling me about it and recommending it. And he's a Bainbridge Island author. That's the next island north of where Marie and I live. And it's set on Bainbridge Island, so it's local Pacific Northwest. And from the first page, I just thought, oh, this is a profoundly beautiful book. It starts with a married couple who are 90 and 87 and still in love and looking at the end of their life, celebrating the life that they've lived together. And then it goes back and starts chronicling. And I very rarely turn to my husband. We like to read in bed together before we go to sleep. I very rarely turn to my husband and just go, immediately get this one, but this is one that I'm going to say that to him because it just is hitting me in the heart in the best way, and I love it. So The Heart of Winter by Jonathan Evison. I'll show you again. The Heart of Winter. I'm so sorry I don't have the actual book, but it's
Yeah.
a
I love the
beautiful
cover.
cover. And I just think it's rare to have a book that starts with a 90-year-old protagonist
Yeah.
man that suddenly I was like, oh, I am all in. Whatever Abe and Ruth are doing, I'm there. So I'm loving that one. And then I know that we had Kim on a few weeks ago. She's a friend of ours. And we are doing her book this for book club this month. It was actually my pick. But I just love this book and I'm enjoying it again. It's epistolary, so it's in letter format. And it's about two young women, one in Paris and one in Seattle in the 90s, before the internet took the world by storm. And it just is, it's beautiful. It's an exploration of food, friendship, literature, but also part of it takes place in Sarajevo during the siege of Sarajevo. I lived in Central Europe for many years, and that's not a thing that's very often written about. It's a really tragic portion of history. And she approaches it in such a beautiful, human-centered and connection-centered way that I really appreciated the way that she just really approached that kind of sensitive and sad topic. And so I am enjoying this one again, Kim Fay, Kate, and Frida.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I like an epistolary novel, you know? So, I
Yeah.
mean, if it is pulled off well, there's such an intimacy
I would
in
say
that
it's
format,
powerful
right?
format.
Like,
And it feels like
um,
they go quickly somehow. The pace is quite quick with
yeah.
epistolary novels, I think.
And you
Yeah.
do, I don't know, yeah, it just that real intimacy, like the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society is epistolary
Mhm.
novel. It's just
Well,
brilliant.
in writing them, the really fun part about epistolary is what I call a good parts version.
Oh, because you've
Because
actually done that, Catherine.
I've
You've
done
written.
that. You don't
Mhm.
have to write the connective tissue. You
Mm,
dive in at the letter,
Oh.
the moment, and then you dive in at the letter, the moment. And so to the reader, it really is. You're going from amazing to amazing. It's like what I call like when you fast forward through a movie and you only
Mhm.
yeah.
pause at those great moments, the good parts version. That's what an epistolary format allows the writer to do. It is fabulous to write. I love to read it.
Hmm.
There you go. Little
I
shout
love
out to
that.
epistolary format.
Let's hear it. Let's
All
hear it.
right. So let's ask the question just fast in our last minute. What is bringing us joy today? Catherine, Marie, me.
Oh, wow. Okay, so me. Gosh, there's so many things. Well, Easter is coming up, and don't know when this airs. Easter may be past that, but anyway, but here's what's bringing me joy. We now live far away from our children, and I will get to see them at Easter time, at Easter weekend. And
Oh,
you
that's
know,
precious.
that's just even anticipating that. And so since it might be airing after, I loved the weekend. It was fabulous. Now, anyway, I'm really excited about that.
Oh, that's great. That's a great thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
I love it.
Marie, what's bringing you joy today?
Okay, well, so here's the thing, and you guys will get this, but others, but civilians might not. I generally don't listen to the audio versions of my books because I have been listening to those voices in my head for months and I know how they sound, and listening to a narrator read them, if it's different, can be very jarring. So I often don't do it, or I wait until I'm a long way away from that book. I've been hearing such good things about Lisa Flanagan, who did the narration for the book club for Troublesome Women. I asked to get an early copy. She's so great.
Oh,
She does such a wonderful
great.
job with the characters. It's not exactly the way they were in my head, but it almost lit up new things. So that really brought me a lot of joy. That and the fact that I recently had a chicken carcass that I was able to make chicken stock, which nobody
that's
gets
pretty
as
good.
much joy out of a chicken carcass as I do. So
Good
that's
soup is
two
a
things.
beautiful thing.
So
A
much to it.
2-in-1. There we go. Well, the thing that's bringing me joy today is that I went to Girl Scout camp with my daughter this weekend. And she is in elementary school and she's part of this sweet little troop. I never went to camp and I was never a Girl Scout. I think that I'm as excited or possibly more excited than the girls are about canoeing and archery and being outside and all the things. But it was just so wholesome. They did like a sing along around the fire and it was just darling. So it was so sweet to be with her. And also, I just had a great time. I'm a mom scout.
I
I'm
love
a
it.
Scout mom version, and I love it so much. So that just brought me joy thinking about spending the weekend outside with my daughter, with all these sweet little girls in the woods. Just makes me happy still to think about that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we are so glad that you joined us today, and let's hold up what we were recommending. We are excited to get to recommend these truly outstanding books that have really touched our hearts and are on our nightstands right now. We hope that you enjoyed a little peek at what we're reading and loving, and we hope you will join us next week for more 10-minute book talk fun. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.